Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA. I'm back in the Upper East Side of New York. A pretty nice neighborhood and really residential, and a lot of great stuff going on here. This place kind of became dead during COVID. A lot of people moved away, like a lot of the people who had some means, they headed down to Florida, but it seems like the place is kind of coming back to life quite a bit. Even on an off-peak time such as right now, it looks like it's becoming once again more lively, even on a day with bad weather such as today. And speaking of bad weather, it's crazy windy, so if the wind gets too strong, I might have to head inside because it might be too windy to film. But today we're at a place that has been TikTok famous, and it's a historical place, almost 100 years, and I really wanted to try it. The famous and now TikTok famous Lexington candy shop. And this place is known for being one of the last soda fountains here in New York, and a place where they still make soda by hand, with syrup mixed with seltzer water the old-fashioned way. They still stir it by hand, and the only place in the whole, at least in New York, where you can still get a hand-stirred Coca-Cola. So because of that, this place has really become TikTok famous the past few years, and people have really been blowing it up. And I hear that there's usually a line around the block and down the street to come in here, but not much of a line today. I think these patrons here, I think they just finished eating and they're figuring out where to go next. So it's probably because of the bad weather that there's not many people today. It could also be that we're here more around like brunch time, like around almost 10 o'clock. So, gonna get some breakfast, and then we're gonna try this hand-stirred soda, see how it is. So let's check it out. Now, before we continue with the rest of the review, I just want to thank the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. Now, I make food videos on social media for a living, and we all know that social media isn't exactly great for mental health. Sometimes you just need someone to talk to about what's bothering you in a non-judgmental space. Therapy provides a safe space to share anything that's on your mind, anything that's bothering you or giving you bad feelings without fear of judgment. Oftentimes, it's all about seeing things from the right perspective and not being too hard on yourself, and mental health professionals are trained to help you out with that. BetterHelp is here to make therapy easier. Having the right therapist who you vibe with can be everything. With BetterHelp, they start you off with a questionnaire to help pinpoint a therapist who would be a good match for you. And switching therapists is super easy. You can easily switch therapists until you find someone you connect with and who gets you. If you think you'd benefit from a therapy session, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/UAEats and get 10% off your first month of therapy. And now, back to our video. All right, so we're here inside Lexington Candy Shop Luncheonette. Gonna try to keep my voice down a little bit since it was empty at first, but now it's starting to fill in a little bit. So now, I don't want to show them, but there's people to my left and people to my right now. But I just want to show you the menu real quick. Actually, I decided to move over here because the counter is a nice spot, and I really liked that I was able to sit at it temporarily. But as you can see, the place is really filling up, and yeah, that's where I was sitting, that one spot originally. So I don't want to bother people next to me, and on top of that, the people running the place are literally right in front of me. So I'm always honest on this channel, and if they're sitting right there, I don't want to be, doesn't feel good to be honest if they're sitting right there. So that's why I moved over here to this booth where I'm out of earshot. But let me show you the menu. All right, so where does this menu start and end? Oh, okay, I guess it should have been like this. I guess whoever folded it back folded it incorrectly. Just like the old days when, before Google Maps, you had to deal with these huge maps in your car that you had to unfold. Kids these days have it so good. But yeah, Lexington Candy Shop Luncheonette. Once again, plugging that it's been almost 100 years. So yeah, this appears to be just like your ordinary diner menu, but it's actually not as large of a menu as I was expecting. Like, I know this looks really big, but some of these diner menus are literally like phone books, just how humongous they can be. So yeah, while they got okay, I guess they have more stuff than it looks like. They have some small font, but still big, but not quite as large as I was expecting. Here though, what made them TikTok famous is they're really famous for these fountain drinks. The hand-mixed fountain drinks. So of course, they got the egg cream here, but we can get an egg cream from all sorts of New York Jewish delis, so no need to try that here. We will try one of the sodas and maybe a float. And this place is known for hand stirring Coca-Cola, not just egg creams. They do Coca-Cola, cherry Coke. I wonder if they do Sprite, but yeah, root beer, all sorts of great stuff. So let's just try Coca-Cola, and if we like it, maybe we'll try a float as well. And then otherwise, it's breakfast time. It's close to 10 a.m., so I guess let's just get something for breakfast. Why don't we? I don't know, what should we get? Maybe some of these things that are in like this beige box. So maybe let's do French toast, a classic French toast. By the way, I gotta say, these prices are quite intense. This is not cheap, I gotta say. 18 bucks for pancakes? Wow, there better be some huge pancakes. Even 15 bucks for French toast is, you know, not super cheap. Burgers look a little bit more reasonably priced. And I've also heard about this butter burger. So yeah, I guess it's mostly the breakfast stuff that's a little pricey. So fix the menu for them. Let's head to the counter and order our soda. Okay, so I'll try the Coke. That's like hand mixed, right? Alright, a small. And then I'll do a French toast. And then I might try something later, so can I hold on to this? Okay, thank you.
Violet. I like the color, violet.
Just made it.
Thank you. Never liked it. I never liked my friends.
Thank you so much. All right, so this is what they're really known for. This is the hand-mixed Coca-Cola. They also do floats, so maybe we'll try a float later. But yeah, you see, made the old-fashioned way. Just a few pumps of syrup, and then quickly mixed by hand with seltzer water. Basically like an egg cream if you've seen me drink those on this channel, but Coca-Cola version. Let's not let it get flat, even though hopefully it will last longer than, you know, 30 seconds. So let's give it a try. Why don't we? Interesting. I guess I'll just say that I sort of see, even though it's cool to see them make it by hand, I sort of see why they don't make it by hand anymore. Let me break it down real quick. To be honest, while it is cool to see them making it by hand and stirring it vigorously to make a soda, to be honest, compared to modern Coca-Colas, it kind of just tastes like a flat Coke, in my opinion. Like, in a way, the flavor is a little bit more natural. Like, it's not too sweet. Like, I think sometimes sodas can be too sweet, particularly those Cokes from a bottle or Cokes from a can. Like, personally, I don't know about you guys, but I've always preferred fountain soda, like when you go to like a fast food restaurant and if they offer fountain drinks, I always prefer that, where they mix the seltzer and the syrup in the machine. But I think doing it by machine is not only more efficient, but I think it also just lends to a better product. Like, it's more fizzy and it's more carbonated, and yeah, in this case, it's just completely flat. I mean, as you can see, there's some bubbles at the bottom, but it's just a very, very flat Coca-Cola, and maybe a more carbonated seltzer would help, but not really for me. And hey, you know, I read the comments. If you guys are gonna claim that it's because I let it sit out too long, let me just tell you real quick, is that I literally just carried it from that counter to here, quickly analyzed it, and drank from it. So it's been like maybe 1 to 2 minutes tops. I mean, if it can't survive 1 to 2 minutes, then that's not a very stable soda, if you ask me. Thank you. All right, this is our French toast, and it looks like it was, I don't know if you guys can see the steam, but it looks like it was fresh out the pan, fresh off the griddle, and I'm excited to try this. This is looking like a solid French toast. I mean, no frills. You know, obviously it's not like you're in like a Parisian cafe. So yeah, it kind of just looks like a homemade French toast that you would get from home, but you know, it's an old-fashioned diner. Can't expect too much, so let's give it a try. Why don't we? First a bite without syrup or anything. Okay, looking kind of fluffy on the inside. All right, piping hot. That was very, very bland, and the temperature was the best thing about it. Let's jazz it up a little bit. Let's do some butter, because it's completely lacking in flavor otherwise. So let's do some butter and some syrup. Looks like that butter kind of slid off a little bit, so. There we go, we got most of it on this bite, so let's see if the syrup at least helps. Bon appetit. Okay, I mean, I will give them credit. Their syrup is actually really, really good. I think this might be real maple syrup or close to it. Their syrup is fantastic. Unfortunately, that's kind of where my praise is gonna stop, because to be honest, these are otherwise the most bland pieces of French toast I've ever had. I mean, did they hear me correctly? I wanted French toast, you know, not just grilled toast on its own. Like the mixture that you add to it to make it French toast, like I don't taste like anything. I don't taste like, the egg flavor's not strong. There's almost no vanilla flavor, I know sometimes cinnamon. There's pretty much no flavor at all, just the bread. I mean, the bread are some nice big fluffy pieces. I mean, the bread is decent, but just the flavoring of it, which is what makes it a French toast and not just well thick cut toast. I mean, there's pretty much no flavor. I mean, at least the syrup is good, because otherwise I'm literally just eating like grilled bread. Probably one of the worst French toasts I've had in a very, very long time. The Coke was at least cool to see it being made, but you know, pretty much just tasted like a flat soda. Let's see if a lunch item will redeem things. I mean, I guess we'll get a burger, you know? Burger should be hard to screw up in theory. They got a star next to this, their butter burger. Butter and cheeseburger sounds a little too much, so I guess let's try their $13 butter burger. Seems pretty reasonably priced, so. Can I get a box for this? And also, can I try the butter burger? Just, yeah, that's all.
Got it.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, I guess this is the famous butter burger, and I don't know about you guys, but it's a pretty sad looking burger. I did not get cheese. Now I kind of wish I did, just to add a little bit more flavor. Well, let's talk about what's good. The patty, at least, is potentially being made by hand. You know, it's kind of misshapen. I don't think it's a frozen patty, so at least I think this is at least being made from fresh ground beef, I think, but I guess they just stuck a piece of butter on top and, you know, not even smack dab in the middle. It's even, you know, kind of melting off to the side there. 13 bucks for this. I originally thought that 13 bucks was a pretty reasonable price, but even if you don't get fries, I thought it might have been okay, but it's overall pretty small. I mean, this is a really small burger for 13 bucks. The price is not reasonable at all. So, and there's no silverware for me to smooth over the butter, so I guess I'll just use this bun. Oh, look at that. I feel like they were trying to recreate the Juicy Lucy, but they didn't quite get the steps right. Just a complete oily, buttery mess. So, let's give it a try, I guess. All right, let's go. So it actually doesn't taste as bad as it looks. The beef actually has pretty good flavor in that I think they are making this patty from scratch. I think this is a hand-formed from ground beef patty, so at least it's not frozen. Meat is relatively fresh and for the most part pretty juicy. The butter, despite melting unevenly and being pretty runny, actually tastes pretty nice, and when it melts onto the bun, it actually makes the bun kind of like a buttery, almost like a brioche bun in flavor. So the burger actually doesn't taste as bad as it looks. That being said, it is still a very oily, greasy, buttery mess for the most part. Very sloppy to eat. Portion size is terrible. You know, at least throw in some fries. The patty might taste good, but it's completely devoid of seasoning. So it's juicy, but it needs some extra seasoning to really add some more, you know, some more kick to it, some more balancing of flavor. I mean, overall, it's not terrible, but I would never pay more than like $5 max for this, let alone 13 bucks. So let's head outside and share some final thoughts. All right, guys, so it is way too windy outside. So the wind has gotten pretty crazy and there's no way that I can film outside. So I wound up hopping on the subway and, you know, now we're inside a really nice subway station, the Oculus Center. So now's a nice chill and, you know, safe place and not windy place to film. But yeah, just want to share my final thoughts on Lexington Candy Shop. And I feel like I haven't used this word in a while, but unfortunately, I just gotta say it. I mean, it was just flat out a tourist trap. There were not many redeeming qualities about Lexington Candy Shop. Well, no, that's not true. I guess the redeeming quality were that some of the staff were very friendly, but otherwise, there were not many redeeming qualities about Lexington Candy Shop in terms of the food or the beverages. Honestly, I mean, the food was terrible. It was just really not good. really overpriced as well, and not even like a huge portion to make up for that. The hand mixed Coke, you know, made by hand. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool to see it being done, but once you see it, that's pretty much it. There's not really much to it, and if anything, the machine version is much tastier than the handmade one. I think there's a reason why they don't do it that way anymore. There's a reason why this is a 100-year-old practice. I mean, honestly, a soda fountain is doing pretty much the same exact thing, only the syrup and the carbonated water are being mixed in the machine. In this case, it's being mixed by hand, so it's just not as efficient and it's not fizzy enough. It tasted just like flat Coke pretty much. With an egg cream, by mixing it, they were able to get like a foamy head, so I guess maybe it's possible that with Coke, it would have been great too if they had mixed it properly, but in this case, it was not really done well, and yeah, I don't know, it was just a huge letdown. So honestly, I just cannot recommend Lexington Candy Shop at all. I would be leery of TikTok trends in general, or, you know, okay, not just TikTok, I mean, Instagram, YouTube, you know, maybe some TV shows as well. When it comes to these social media trends, I mean, virality is key, and oftentimes what people care most about is optics, you know, how things look, and you know, take it from me, from a content creator with a camera, it is so easy to, you know, portray things a certain way, to make things look a certain way, to spin things a certain way with the way you present it. I think when many people post these food vids on social media, their incentive is not to provide a great restaurant recommendation and a great dining experience. I mean, their incentive is to get a viral vid, you know, to get lots of views. So because of that, as long as the food looks really cool, or, you know, they can present it, they can spin it in a certain way to make it seem really cool. I mean, that's all they care about, as opposed to how it actually tastes, or how it actually, you know, how the drink actually goes down, so to say. So I would just keep that in mind. On this channel, I'm always trying to provide honest reviews. The taste of the food, as well as the bang for your buck, is always gonna be the most important thing on this channel. But for other videos, just keep in mind that even though it might have, you know, 10 million views, just keep in mind that the taste is not always what's important, more so the optics. So just something to keep in mind. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video, so thank you so much for watching, and if you've been to Lexington Candy Shop before, then please let me know in the comments what you thought of it, because great minds eat alike. And as always on this channel, if you like my content, please like and subscribe, that way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. I'm gonna find somewhere to get some editing done before I head home, so hopefully there's somewhere around here. So until next time, I'll see you later.